Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Title of today's show, is it over? Is this the end? Has the bull market finished? Is this the other top of the cycle? And should we be all just packing up our bags and going home? We're going to answer that and a whole bunch more. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people. And of course, does help support the channel, as does the wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and respond. And if you're a first timer here, welcome. Smash that subscribe button for future updates. So as far as, I'm just going to get the elephant in the room out of the way. I agree with James Canfield. Hey, it's me again. Still 0 out of 30 indicators hit for Bitcoin being topped. Keep stacking. We're not going to go over all 30. We've done many of them before on previous shows, but no, I do not think that this is the end for Bitcoin. I do not think, based on what I see today, I do not think this is the end of the bull run, at least for Bitcoin, but possibly for altcoins. And I'll show you why in just a moment. But number one, I feel that the strongest likelihood is that we have not seen Bitcoin's all-time high for the cycle. I think we are going to go higher based off what I see today. Okay. However, there would be some things that would change my mind. Some of those Bitcoin top indicators, the MACD rolling over bearish on the monthly time frame. And if I start to see some of those indicators, I will be putting out a show that I think that the top is more than likely in. And right now, based off what I see today, I don't think the top is likely in. But however, on the weekly time frame, it has flipped bearish. And this is why I did a show that I sold my crypto on my weekly time frame portfolio. A few people freaked out and said to me, "Oh, how dare you? You've gone bullish to bearish." It's like, well, first and foremost, sit down, because I did warn everybody. I did a wonderful video here called Bitcoin Conference, Sell the News, and warned everybody that 100% of the time after a Bitcoin conference had concluded, there was a drop between 6% to 15% on average. I removed a couple of black swan event years where it dropped a little lower. And so I did give everybody forewarning before I did this video why I just cashed out of crypto. So there was bearishness there in the charts. As you can see, we had the tribal trades signal flash there, a bearish momentum shift, one indicator to rule them all. And of course, if you'd like to get access to this indicator, it is a paid indicator, and you can do so. There is a link below in the description for the Tribal Trades Discord, one Discord to rule them all. And there is a link there. You might need to click more. That will pop open, and that will give you a link to get access to this indicator and get access to the Tribal Trades Discord there. Of course, we share wonderful Discord, absolutely wonderful Discord family here. Just a quick look here, what we have. And they're all I love the win section. I love how people share how they're winning and the trades they're taking, so people can learn. Nikola Tesla, you're a boss at that. I appreciate you doing that. That always helps out the community. Neo sharing some great trades there, how the signal has helped him. There you go, the dev of the signal right here, and you can see there's the entry and there's the exit right there. That is the Tribal Trades signals indicator there. And so you can see a wonderful community. We've got wonderful channels, the Trading Signals channel, a help area, chill and chat where you can get to know people. There's the Tribal Trades indicator. We can get access, live sessions with me where you can ask me questions. We do live trading. We do live education. Absolutely fantastic. And a whole bunch of crypto plays, stocks plays, etc. Leverage Lounge, so you can learn how to make money when the market is going down as well as up. So you see all that and more. And of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And so that is the tribal trades indicator there. You can get access to that as soon as you sign up. We'll get you access usually within about 24 hours. Okay, so what do we see here? We see this flash off. Now, we don't have the red dot. We don't have the red dot, but this has been a pretty good early warning indicator. Of course, it flashed over here a little bit early, and it then continued to go up. So if you'd gotten out here around 100K, it went up to around 108K. Now, look, some people are saying you don't just modeling, you don't lying, telling everything, and then having to stress about when to buy back, and you just hold it, long-term holds. That's fine. I totally appreciate that. Of course, when we do have the end of the bull run, we'll be getting out. But for me, I am a trader, and I'm not a hodler. I don't think crypto should be hodled long term. Look, Bitcoin has dropped around 80% at the end of every single cycle. I don't want to round trip 80%. Now, do I think that Bitcoin is going to drop as heavy as 80% this time around? No, I don't. But could it drop as heavy as 50%? Absolutely. So if we get to 150 and then it drops all the way down to 75, I'll absolutely want to sell my Bitcoin at 150K and buy it back at 75. Just like selling it here at 108 and buying it back around 74,000 here, 74 to 84,000 here was a good financial decision there. And that's, for me, it's a no-brainer. I don't want to round trip Bitcoin from 108, 109,000 all the way down to 74,000 and see all my profits diminish. I want to get out when I see the signal fire, and I want to get back in when I see the signal fire here, or getting back in. And so we have seen this. We haven't seen the red dot. There is another warning sign. We do have a bearish engulfing candle. What is a bearish engulfing candle? It is when the subsequent candle here, which we saw just close yesterday, engulfs, and it's the body of the candle, by the way. The body of the candle engulfs the previous body of the candle. That has happened. That is confirmed as a bearish engulfing candle, and we're seeing the market start to drop down. There's no guarantee, of course, that this does fail. This does fail from time to time, but it's about a 70% success rate that it does play out to the downside. So I do expect that we are going to see some more downside. Look, there are no guarantees. Over here, it looked as though it was going to go down, and then it popped up another 8,000 from there. There are no guarantees, of course, that this bearish engulfing candle. We could get some news. You could get a tweet that can come out that can skyrocket the market. And I understand why some of you would just rather buy and hold and not be in and out and in and out. But do ask yourself the question, is if this is the end? Because even though I say that this is likely not the end of the bull run, what if it is? What if it is? I mean, and it doesn't have to be an all or nothing kind of scenario. You don't have to go, oh, I'm selling all of it here. This could be just an area to take profits. And so if you're up in decent profit, I sold between 105,000 and 110,000, but you just may want to take profits there. And so that's another option as well. Or maybe you just want to take your original capital out. So if you put 100,000 in and it's worth 150, you may just want to take the 100,000 out and leave the 50 there. And then if I'm right, the likelihood is that we see some further downside. Now, where could we go to? Well, yeah, if you see some further downside, then you'll be able to buy it back a whole bunch lower. Time will tell. We will see. We will see if this indicator has given a good signal, but we do see this bearish engulfing candle there. So what else do we see here? Where could we possibly go? The obvious levels, I'm going to give them to, are 102,000. We'll write these down. 100,000, 98,000, and then 95,000, and then we have 92,000 as well. Those are the levels to the downside. And if we were to lose 92,000, it would be a tad concerning for me. Really, if we were to lose 95,000, I would be a little bit concerned. That wouldn't mean that would necessarily be the end of the bull run. Remember, you don't know for sure until it's retroactive that the bull run has ended, because if we were to get down to here, this is the 50-week moving average. A full weekly candle open and close below this has generally been the end of the bull run. Do you really want to wait till you get below 82,000 to get that confirmation that it's over? By then, the alts will be smeared all over the pavement. And talking of alts, let's look at is is alt season over, this lovely alt season that we had down here from the beginning of April through to around the end of May. So that lasted about 5 to 6 weeks, about 40 days there that lasted for. And it looks like it's over. This could still be a bull flag. Okay? So I'm not saying that it's over, but we do have this yellow flash off. Last time it flashed off there, the signal that did end up being pretty good. And you can see that it flashed off there a little early, but it was pretty close getting you out of your altcoins there. We have lost the 200-day moving average, and we are testing the 20 EMA on the weekly, and there is a 50-day right below that. So far, it's been a good decision for me to exit my Bitcoin and altcoins on the weekly time frame, but we're going to see how that plays out there. So that is looking a little bearish. I'm not quite yet prepared to 100% call and say, hey, the altcoin season is over, but it looks most likely that it is, and we're just going to see what happens. But we could see a jump in alts. What could happen? Well, what could happen is Bitcoin could continue to trade in this range for a little while before dropping, and altcoins could go on a little bit of a run. That's why I'm not prepared to say that it's over. And of course, this is a new week and it's just fired off. So even though this yellow triangle is there, this could actually disappear. This could actually disappear because this is only just fired off, because this weekly candle has not closed. On the daily time frame, for example, we do have a bullish reversal, but it may not play. You saw this last one kind of fell a little flat there. And so it'll be interesting to see what sees there. That was a little bit of a fake out there. Let's look at USDT dominance. And again, let's look, we have a little bit of a sell signal on the daily, sell signal, bearish reversal. And on the weekly time frame, it actually looks to be quite bullish, and that's not a good sign there. If USDT is going up, usually that means people are selling into you. That means people are selling out of the Bitcoin and alts and into stable coin, and we do have a bullish reversal signal there on the weekly time frame. So that could be, again, we might see a little bit of a fake out there. We're going to wait and see how this week progresses with that. And of course, our friend will say hello to our little friend, Bitcoin dominance here. We have, again, if we are there, it had looked good and we had come down, and now we've got a bullish reversal for Bitcoin dominance, which is not good for altcoins there. And so that's why we're seeing altcoins take a bit of a hit at the moment. Let's check out the yellow brick road, because we're going to follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And look here, the market makers look like coming for that 103,000. I would expect that to get tagged there. If we zoom out a little bit there, a little bit more, there is a lot to the upside. There is a lot to the upside on the weekly time frame. And so this reversal, we may not come that deep. I said 102 to 100. That may be it. That could be the bearish engulfing candle there playing out from 112 down to 100,000. That would be a decent reversal. As we start to more zoom out, though, we are going to start to see more liquidity to the downside. And you can see there all the way down actually to the mid 90s there. And then if you really zoom out to the 6-month time frame, you're going to see a lot stacked below. I just don't think that's built up enough yet for the market makers to start to send a heavy drop. I think, as you can see, there is still a lot of liquidity to the upside, 112,000, 113. I do think we get back there. I honestly do think we get back to this, but I think we have a little bit of a shorter pullback here, maybe 100,000, maybe a little bit lower, 98 at the extreme, maybe 92 down here. And then we shoot up, and I think we get to around $120,000 to $130,000. And then I think from there it's over, and we'll have a larger correction for Bitcoin there. And of course, just keep an eye on altcoins. Like, it's possible that altcoins are already going into a bear market. They have decoupled. But my general feeling is that there will always be these little altcoin seasons where there'll be opportunities to jump into altcoins and make money. I don't think we'll see an altcoin season like seen in past years, just because there are too many altcoins. We went from thousands of altcoins to tens of millions of altcoins. That is a massive jump, and the liquidity hasn't improved. It's the same amount of money available to buy those altcoins, and there are just too many altcoins and not enough money to go around. So I do think you have to be in the right altcoins at the right time. And of course, that's why we look at Total 2 here, which has been a really good guide for us in getting, this is a good sign to get out of altcoins. And of course, down here, beginning of April was a good sign to get into altcoins. And now it looks like this is giving us a sign to get out. Although, is this going to be a fake out? And are we going to actually create a bull flag here and have a little bit more of a continuation? We'll keep an eye on that chart and see how that shakes out. Well, that's all we have time for today. As always, thanks again for tuning in. And until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.